Ben Spencer.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Before I begin, I'm sure members of this House would agree with me. What a fantastic maiden speech by the Honourable Member for Scunthorpe. It's clear that she will be an absolute champion for her steel industry. I'd like to start by joining colleagues in praising the work of our emergency services and the flood responses around the country. Runnymede and Weybridge has the Thames on our border. We have several different rivers that go through the constituency which are liable to flooding. Now, given the limited time, I won't meander like the Thames, but I'm going to really focus on what is in some ways a love letter to the River Thames scheme, which urgently needs to be built. Much of our land is on a floodplain. Building on floodplains is not new. There are many areas of this country which are on reclaimed land. Indeed, Chertsey, in my constituency, the site of Benedictine Abbey, was originally known as Chertsey Island. Clearly, we need to prevent further development on unprotected floodplains, but this is not enough. We also need to protect our developments that are already there, our homes, our businesses, our land. Many of my constituents are persecuted by perennial flood warnings and alerts. Watching your garden gradually flood, praying that it doesn't reach your house, is not a way to spend Christmas, and that is the experience that many of my constituents had last year. Mr Speaker, flooding is increasingly a natural threat to our communities. The protections that we need cannot be underestimated. The River Thames Scheme, a scheme of flood defences for my constituency and others, promises to protect our homes and businesses. Now, I don't know how much steel the River Thames Scheme may need, but I do hope it comes from Scunthorpe. The tragedy of the 2014 flooding in Runnymede and Weybridge leaves us in no doubt of the urgent need for the River Thames Scheme. And I look forward to working with the Environment Agency, DEFRA, other key stakeholders, including Surrey County Council, who've done much of the heavy lifting here in terms of driving this project forwards. But it will still take many years to get the River Thames Scheme built. And so we do need to turn our attentions to flood mitigation. Local community flood groups are excellent, and they are a crucial part of building resilience, as is the Flood scheme. Flood has made it easier for domestic customers to claim insurance, but there are large numbers of small businesses affected in many of our constituencies, which honourable members across the House have spoken about today. Flooding of these businesses means that they find it very difficult to recover, especially the smaller ones in small economies, and we need to consider how we can mitigate the risks and damages to businesses when flooding occurs. Mr Deputy Speaker, prevention is better than cure, and it's clear that the government is leading the way with the Environment Bill and our commitments to the environment, meeting net zero by 2050, introducing long-term legally binding targets on biodiversity, air quality, water, resource and waste efficiency. But we still need to get our defences built. The main motion in this debate is to have a review. Rather than another review and pointless waste of money, we need action and investment in flood defence infrastructure. And I welcome the government's pledge for investment across the country in flood defence schemes. The River Thames Scheme will provide not just flood defences, but a community asset of natural parks and paths, which we can treasure going forwards. We can use this, we can turn disadvantage to opportunity. Thank you.